And welcome back, guys. We're going to get straight into the next run, seeing as we're getting pretty late over here in Europe. So it'll be Resident Evil Village, and I'll pass it on to the runner, and he can introduce himself and the co-commentator.
Thanks a bunch. Hi, everyone. I'm Captain Ezekiel. We're going to be running a new game, Casual Glitchless, for Resident Evil Village. But before we go into any more details about the run, introduce my commentator, Catlink.
Hello, everybody.
Poggers. All right, so there's a lot that goes into this run, and we're going to cover a lot of it, but it wouldn't really be a Resident Evil game if we didn't have an intro. So we will start timer as soon as I get control of Ethan. So we're going to skip 2 cutscenes first. So I will count it down as soon as we're about to get control here. So
Finally able to skip cutscenes.
yeah, can't do that in 7. All right, timer starts in 3, 2, 1, go. Woo, baby.
I'll put her down.
This is Rose.
Hi, Rose.
She's important.
Hi. Hey, baby.
Yeah, a different type of hey baby.
It's like I said
A little bit, just a little bit.
But the message is still the same.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, we get a kind of slow-paced intro right off the bat, kind of like 7, where you have to go through and well, 7 you have to watch the cutscenes and stuff, but this one it does have like a little bit of a slow pacing to the intro.
Yeah, and on a casual level, it really sets up the atmosphere of the game like amazingly. But on a speedrun level, it's like, come on, Ethan, a little bit of pep in the step. I mean, in this game, you'll notice compared to 7, Ethan is considerably faster.
Oh my God, it's a whole new world.
He's got he did not skip leg day at all for this game.
That
but
military training really worked out.
True, yeah. There's a lot of key differences with like his military training that you'll notice throughout the game, but there are some elements about the game that are very dramatically different than what you saw with Peralt's 7 run, which, by the way, shout out to Peralt, great run, nice job. But now we get to do the next part of the game, where we're playing as Ethan again, and we're slow again. In the
Yeah, it's the place of my people up in Canada.
The snowlands.
Yep. Yeah, like I said, the intro is pretty slow for the first like 4 or so minutes. It's just mainly point A to point B, nothing too crazy. Basically, like in 7, where you're making your way to the guest house, same idea, but we're making our way to a shack.
Correct, and we're gonna start a very interesting and one of the most complex parts of the run, which is called the Lycan Siege. There's a lot to really cover it, so it's best we talk about it now, and we'll explain what DA is. DA is an incredibly important part of the run. If you don't know what DA means, it's a difficulty adjustment. Basically, in RE games since 4, if you are doing worse, to kind of TLDR, you do worse, the game makes it easier on you. You do better, it makes it harder on you. And this scaling is capped based on the difficulty that you chose. So they're represented in what's called DA ranks. So basically the way it matters here is we're trying to bring our DA all the way down to 0 before we even get really into the game. And we're basically going to get hit a lot and heal a lot during the Lycan raid. It's going to look really weird. You're like, why is the speedrunner dying? It's for speed. I promise you it matters.
We just really like Lycan hugs. It's fine.
A lot of Lycan hugs. Kisses and everything. It's great. They're just amazing. They're just dogs. That's all they are.
They're a little aggressive, but sometimes it's okay.
Yeah, just a little aggressive. Maybe too much teeth, but
But yeah, Casual actually has the more intense kind of DA, where you're constantly focusing on making sure that your DA is as low as possible. Like if you're doing Voss or Village of Shadows, sorry, but if you're doing Village of Shadows or Hardcore, DA isn't really as important, but Casual, it's like it can make things either it can just make things vastly different for certain boss fights. So making sure it's as low as possible is just you need it.
Yeah, it's actually, like, when we were first routing out the game, it was critically important for the earlier strats we had for boss fights. Like a guy you'll see later named Moreau. Cat loves Moreau. Big fan of Moreau. Back in the day, our strats, when I say back in the day, I mean a month ago. But a month ago, our strats were different, and so it required the DA adjustment, and if we failed to have the DA at Moreau, you would not one cycle him, which is a hefty time loss.
Yeah, I remember when Zeke and I were testing things out for the start, like when the game first came out, Zeke and I were testing a lot of stuff, and when the Lycan Siege that we're about to jump into first came about, I ended up getting through it faster than him, and he was just completely baffled. Like, how did you...
Yeah, I remember, because we were just really... I was mad, because we were doing Urias, which is another fight that'll be later in the game. And she was doing the same strat but faster. I couldn't wrap my head around it until we figured out the importance of DA, and thus we birthed the DA manipulation that happens at the Lycan section was basically put together by me and Kat when we figured out that DA is broken in this game. Very strong.
Yep. It was kind of a mind blown situation, and also the another situation of why. Why does this need to be the thing? Because in RE7, DA is like non-existent. Unless you're doing knife-only Madhouse, it's just really unimportant.
Mm-hmm. But now, we got a knife.
All right.
Okay, let's quickly hop in with a donation there before we get on to the next part.
Now would be a perfect time.
Cool. Okay, so we have $10 from Anonymous, so thank you. Then we also have The Roger for $5 saying, great runs, let's get out homelessness like Ethan's poor hand. So that's pushed us over to $4,305, so thank you guys for your all donations.
Let's go.
Keep them coming.
Yeah, keep them coming, ladies and gentlemen.
You guys just saw the most reused asset in every Resident Evil game, which is the bolt cutters. We're never going to see them again. But there they were.
Saw them in RE7, saw them in RE2R, saw them in RE3R, and now they're back in 8.
So this is the barn Lycan. Kat, you want to talk about this guy?
So basically, we just need to kill him as fast as possible. Thankfully, we can just stun him and get as many headshots, because obviously headshots would do enough damage, but essentially once we kill him, we are now able to escape the barn. And that, which starts the Lycan attack, but with the Lycan attack, you have to shoot one Lycan on the roof, or over there. Like, basically just shoot any Lycan, and it will commence the siege. So now what Zeke is going to do, he's going to, just get a bunch of hugs.
We're getting hugs.
Yep. Are you running the SRT right now?
Yes.
Okay.
So we have a thing called an SRT, which is a speedrun tool. Basically, it's something I have on my other monitor, and typically you'll see streamers have it on their screen, but not applicable in this situation. It tells me information like Ethan's health, my current DA, and stuff like that, and enemy health. Most importantly, it lets me track my DA, so that I know when I'm going from DA rank 1 down to 0, and also what my health is when I'm taking heals. And it really matters so that we can get the proper DA level when we're going into Castle. So ideally, I want to be at completely 0.
So the SRT, shoutouts to all the people who did an amazing work, Video Game Roulette, Squirrelies, Cursed Toast, just a whole lot of them for making all the awesome tools that we get to use to help us with these gnarly sections.
Yeah, it's this part of the game it can get a little Monka-esque, because we're gonna basically be standing over here waiting for a big dude who looks like Hagrid to spawn. His name is Urias. Urias is interesting. This whole area is interesting. Standing over here makes Urias spawn sooner. Not going into any houses also forces Urias to spawn sooner. And it gives us a little cutscene too when we do it like this. It's very strange. It took us a while to figure out exactly how this worked, because it's just incredibly convoluted.
Well, yeah, another thing too is that if you go on any ladders in this section, it actually pauses the timer for the siege. So you can sit on a ladder all day, they won't attack you. However, if you just sit on the ladder, the siege will just take forever, because unfortunately the cutscene can't start unless you're standing on the ground.
Yeah, it's very strange.
Yeah, we thought we could manipulate the timer just by sitting on the ladder for 4 minutes, however long it takes. Nope. Fortunately, it does not work like that.
We thought we were really slick too, because we were like sitting on the ladder like, stupid game. I'm just gonna sit right here, and then it would never end.
Yep. So unfortunately, we can't do any of that. We need to avoid houses and just get as much damage in as possible from these lichens. And another thing with the lichens as well is that if you were to not allow them to hit you and they happen to miss you, it actually raises your your DA by a little bit anyways, but it does raise it, which obviously we do not want.
Yeah, it's a big pain when you get lichens that start missing you, because your DA will randomly just starts spiking. And it's really annoying because we don't have very much time. We have about 30 seconds left until the siege ends. Okay, that guy just doesn't want to move. So we definitely want our DA to be as low as it possibly can be. And healing drops our DA tremendously. Oh, and also, in case you can't hear that, Urias is over there fragging out like it's a COD lobby. He likes to just get pissed out of nowhere and hit everything around him, including lichens. And if Urias kills a lichen, the game thinks Ethan killed a lichen, so my DA goes up.
Yep, it's quite unfortunate how this game likes to lower and raise your DA, and it's just very... This game works in very weird ways, 90% of the time.
Very, very strange. But that went pretty well. We're at DA 89, which is basically almost pure 0. So we're chilling now for the rest of the game with our DA.
Yep.
So, PogChamp. Don't have to worry about weird boss fights.
If we don't... so Zeke doesn't have his DA below 100 score, then usually that means he might be over 1,000 score for Moreau, which it can not end very well, especially with Moreau. Moreau is you'll see Moreau later. You'll understand.
He's the best.
He is the best, and he might save some for us later.
Let's hope not. Okay, so a couple things about pickups in this game is we only really pick up 6 total crafting materials that actually matter later in the game, which are 3 gunpowder and 3 metal scrap. That's to set us up for the end of the game. And we'll add the gunpowder. The gunpowder is easy because it comes around everywhere, but the metal scrap has a few select pickup spots that we're taking advantage of because it's actually a rare resource in the game. You don't get much of it because it is what you use to make mines and pipe bombs. So you'll notice me pick up a few of those. Actually, we won't pick up metal scrap until much later in the game, but you'll see me be picking up stuff like gunpowder.
Yeah, rusted scrap we generally avoid. You get a ton of rusted scrap throughout the game if you're doing it casually, but for casual, speed run, you don't pick up any whatsoever.
Now this is an interaction. I did not mean to shoot there, but
nice shot.
Basically pausing when picking up items that come out of like drawers and stuff like that for certain items will make the items spawn instantly, as opposed to making you wait for the animation of like the drawer opening to happen. A very weird and, in my opinion, dumb mechanic that exists specifically in this game, but it is what it is, and it's faster, so we use it.
RE7 has something similar where if you pause, like for the out of bounds that we do, if you pause at a certain point, the game will still load in while you're paused. So it's kind of something similar where when we pause to open up a drawer to get an item, the game will still load it in. So, yeah, RE7 had the similar thing, but we never used it besides the out of bounds. Otherwise, it's never was useful.
Yeah,
Can't really jump in with nation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Possible.
Yeah.
No worries. Moonrunes V2 with $10 saying, loving the RE block to finish this event, even better at finishing Zeke and Cat. So much hype. So yes, thank you for the $10.
Thank you, Moon.
Thanks, Moon. Now these crests are RNG, by the way. Putting them into the door, they'll spawn in a certain orientation, and you can actually lose up to like 3 seconds for them if you have horrible RNG. It's really sad.
I hate those crests.
It doesn't make sense. I don't know why they would make those RNG. Like a player's gonna start the game again and like be wowed about the fact that it's a different orientation this time around.
Oh my god, it starts in a new spot? Amazing!
Now this cutscene is the, in my opinion, the equivalent of the Welcome to the Family cutscene. We have to wait to skip it, but you get to see everyone. Moreau, Donna, Angie, Alcina, Dimitrescu, and Heisenberg.
He's awake!
Very, very. If you haven't played this game and your first exposure to it is this, they're very interesting characters. My favorite is Heisenberg by far, but they're all like amazing. The four lords, and we're gonna meet them all.
See, I would quote Heisenberg, but unfortunately, Heisenberg has some no words.
Heisenberg has a bit of a potty mouth.
he just a little bit.
Just a tad.
You didn't think I'd let you get away, did you? Gotta keep Donna in the
Conveniently, there's a little hole in the wall.
So now it's
How convenient.
What an oversight.
Gotta love how these things just work out for us. Hey, at least he didn't lose his hands here.
Yet. Don't get attached to Ethan's hands. Because even Ethan isn't attached to his hands most of the time.
Yeah, Capcom just hates Ethan's hands. I don't know why. I don't know what the reason for why they hate his hands so much, but they just do.
They really, really do. Like, it's not one of those subtle things. It's, like, painfully obvious. They do not like this dude's hands.
Alright, making our way to the castle.
The castle. Beautiful level design in this castle. I love the castle and the way that it looks and works. I wish we spent more time in it. But it is amazing.
It is quite short-lived. I feel, well, obviously a lot of the areas in this game are quite short-lived. The castle, the level design and overall the characters for this area are just probably some of the best in the game, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Just the aesthetic. I live for a gothic aesthetic.
Oh yeah, big true. And that was the Duke. That handsome whole lot of man was the Duke. We love the Duke. I absolutely love him and everything about him. He is our merchant. If you don't know about that, we do visit the Duke twice in this run. We do it once after the Beneviento house and once right before the end of the game. Because he hooks us up.
What are you buying? What are you selling?
Exactly. A friend of mine used to say that. He does have that Easter egg where if you hang around near him, he will say that.
I love that. I love that so much. I remember I was playing the demo and he said it, and I was just freaking out. Like, oh my god, yes!
And there goes Ethan's hands.
Yeah, that looks terrible. His hands would be a lot more split than what it is there, but you know.
They really took it easy on us on this, like on the graphic of that, right? Like it could be way, way worse. But then we got the legendary juice.
The juice that just heals everything, like in RE7, how it puts your leg back on. Yeah, this game has a very similar idea with that. Somehow it's here. We don't know why. How it ended up here. How this is just everywhere. Apparently, I guess this is just first aid in the Resident Evil universe. But then again, they have spray, so I don't know.
Ethan's way too complicated for spray. We don't got time for herbs and spray. Just juice.
Just juice, yeah. So I guess we should talk about the menu.
Oh, the menu. Man, do I have some choice words for the menu. But, okay, so the RE8 menu isn't awful, but on a speedrun perspective, it's very not intuitive. It's like if you look at Sevens,
clunky.
Yeah, like Sevens is very fluid, very fast, and it allows you to do stuff while the game is running. The RE8 inventory is bigger, but it has a massive delay to a lot of the stuff that you do, as well as pausing the game behind it, which is just, it's okay. But we have to go in at some point, which means we try to really minimize when we have to, and anytime we do, we try to make the most out of the time. So you only ever see me go in for like specific things later in the run.
Yeah. So I definitely have some choice words for this menu as well. I will always love the Resident Evil 7 menu just because it's such a quick on-the-fly and responsive menu. And this one, it's, you want to pick up item? Okay, press shift. Okay, you want to rotate item? Press space. I'm instead of just click and drag? No. Can't click and drag. Not in this house.
One thing we should mention is you see them a lot in 7. In 8, there are a lot of retries you can do, but I won't be doing most of them since they're more bent to benefit a timer, not an RTA timer, which is what we're working off of here. So I'll still do a few retries that influence like Ethan's position sometimes and enemy position specifically. So you'll see me retry a few times, and that is the reason why. Is so that we move Ethan or something similar, or enemy AI changes. But it won't happen as frequently as you would normally see it in a run because it just doesn't make much sense for an RTA timer. But now we are approaching Bella. Do not blink, or you will miss it.
Yeah, for real. Oh, there she goes. That's Bella.
Bye, Bella.
Yeah, so the daughters in this game go by very quickly. Obviously, you know, we're playing on casual, so the health pools are considerably low when it comes to just doing damage to them. But also, the landmine in this game is just completely overpowered.
Oh yeah, it's so broken, and we knew it from the demo. We knew that if they kept it the way that they did, it was just going to be abusable because it doesn't hit Ethan, so you can use them in any way that you want, which is different to the pipe bomb. The pipe bomb does hit Ethan, and it does less damage, so it's like just instantly inferior to the landmine.
Yeah, the pipe bomb frustrates me on a whole other level just because it has those. You can toss it, and especially if you toss one pipe bomb and then another one, it's just like, oh, okay, that one exploded early, which means the second one I threw hits me because it's closer. So yeah, the pipe bomb has a little bit of some issues, but the landmine though, chef's kiss.
Yeah, landmine, amazing. It's something to note in this game. Well, first thing, you probably just saw that there's no flies around the witches, and they look a little weird. We use a no fly mod. It's allowed for the game because the game is not optimized very well, so those flies actually cause an incredible amount of PC performance issues. So we're allowed to use a mod that removes them. Doesn't really change anything else about the game as a result. There's also an FOV mod that enables an FOV slider for the game, which was implemented into the game but never actually put into the UI, which is why we have that. So that explains that in case you were wondering. And on the touch of explosions, as this game, for some reason, stayed really true to explosion physics, and they do apply in this game, and it's really weird how it works.
Yeah. Oh.
We're gonna FPS swap real quick.
Yeah. So this game, it does have some FPS swapping, like it does in 7. With when you change to 30 FPS, it allows your hitbox to become a little bit smaller, so you're able to squeeze by certain enemies, because some enemies will body block you if you are on anything over 30 FPS for, again, hitbox things. Just, you know, just Capcom things.
Just Capcom things, you know, the way it works.
Yep. So yeah, there will be times when you'll see Zeke change to 30 FPS, and it's mainly just for that reason.
Yeah, FPS is important in this game. Not nearly as important as it is in a game like RE7 or even RE2R. But it applies, and it makes life way easier for certain situations, like the one you just saw.
Go ahead, do your
Yeah.
worst.
And another thing with FPS in this game, if you're not sitting at 120, or at least, you know, if you're sitting, say you're sitting at 60 FPS, elevators will actually take a lot longer. So there are a few elevators in this game, so that's a big reason why having a high enough FPS to 120 is a good thing. By hand.
You will learn what it means to insult our
Nice.
success.
This, something that is also strange about this game is depending on how you skip cutscenes influences the spawn of AI. So, Lady Dimitrescu here, she would be directly in the middle of the hall had I waited to skip the cutscene as opposed to doing it instantly. It's a strange thing that I'm not quite sure why it happens, but it also applies to the witch, Bella, which is an important thing they actually use in Village of Shadows runs, is they have to let the cutscene play to help influence her AI in their favor.
Yeah. There's a little bit of AI manipulation. Just a little bit.
And now, the best limb reattachment.
Ethan's magic trick. With juice, of course.
Beautiful. Not just the hand, but it also fixes the jacket.
I'm just surprised the jacket part stayed on.
Yeah.
Like his jacket is just part of his body, so it's just stuck onto him, I guess.
Screw this castle.
The jacket pod. Gotta save the jacket.
Yup. It's a nice jacket.
It is a nice jacket. He gives it to Rose. Do you think she notices that there's that scene where it's been cut and she always goes like, how did this even get fixed? There's no like sewing marks.
There's just a line. Somehow. Magically. It's just there.
Now we're gonna play the piano.
Yes, play me my favorite song. Play some Wonderwall.
Play Wonderwall.
Yes.
This isn't Wonderwall. I forgot how to play Wonderwall.
I'm upset, but you know, they're still beautiful nonetheless. I will accept it.
Alright, and now we're approaching the second witch, Daniela.
So we
Oh, and Lady Dimitrescu's there too, by the way.
Yep, and I love how she just stands there, just menacingly staring at you, waiting, watching.
So you
So Zeke is just going to be using the shotgun for Daniela here, since we don't have anything else. Besides, you know, shotgun, pistol. But she dies very quickly. Couple shotgun shells and a pistol shot, and boom, she gone.
The witches are just a mega pushover in casual.
Oh, they really are.
Oh, the worst room in the
Jefferson.
game. Oh god.
L's. So this takes a lot of precise shooting, and specifically the swinging bell here can be a pain to get because obviously it's moving and you gotta be a little careful on how you shoot that, but well done.
Yeah, that bell could be, its position is a little random when you first enter the room, so it's kind of a pain to know where it's going to be. But once you like figure out where it is, it's easy to track it. It's just, its starting spot could just make life really annoying for everyone involved.
Yeah.
And now
Alright,
Cassandra.
so Cassandra, come here now. So another witch fight where she actually hit you there.
Yeah, her staggers. If they get weird, she'll hit you out of there. It's annoying, but it happens.
Yeah, so that's just another fight where we use Zeke breaks open the wall with the pipe bomb, because unfortunately the game it forces you to use the pipe bomb to break the wall. Otherwise you won't be able to do damage to Cassandra. But yeah, shotgun shells and she's done.
The lore behind that, if you're wondering, is oh god. Okay, never mind. We're fine.
We're good.
She's just a little wide in the hip area. You know, it's just hard to get past her sometimes. But the witches are they're like made of bot flies, right? There's flies that protect them, and the flies drop dead when exposed to the cold. So otherwise you can't hit them.
Do.
Yep, flies don't like the cold. Today I learned.
I don't like the cold either. Does that make me a fly?
I mean, you're probably not living in the right place. I also hate the cold, and I'm also not living in the right place.
If I got the sniper, so since this is glitchless, we do get the sniper early. If this was any percent, we would actually be avoiding the sniper. Thankfully, we get it early, and we don't have to pay for it.
Woo. It's free real estate.
Because I believe the sniper is like what, 40,000?
Yeah, it costs a lot of dollars to lay, rather. It's very expensive to pick up later. But you saw me earlier go into my inventory after shooting the bells. We are not upgrading our inventory at all, so it's gonna be really small. So I have to make room preemptively for the sniper, and I also had to preemptively remap some buttons. That's gonna set me up for later in the game, to allow me to just pick items up without having to go back into my inventory.
Yeah.
Okay. I should be
So that's why item pickups or anything like that on this run it's very tight, and making sure you don't have like an excessive amount of certain things, especially like handgun ammo, because handgun, like with how the menu works, if you pick up extra items, it kind of just goes wherever it wants. And unfortunately, if it goes in a bad spot, then that takes up space, and then you have to go into your menu and reorganize, and it's just a headache, and no one likes that.
Yeah, the game loves to give you like a 3-page written document about why you can't put an item in a certain spot if you accidentally have too full of an inventory. It's really, really
Yep.
annoying.
Unfortunately. Easy.
Now we're gonna start the Duke cutscene so that Lady D leaves us alone while the door
Pleasure to
opens.
see you safe. How were things?
Yeah, you can just wait at the door for it to open, and usually she should just leave you alone, but watching that cutscene actually pauses the in-game timer, or the timer that we use. So opening that while the door is opening, it just makes life a little bit easier, and you save 5 seconds, I think it is, yeah?
Yepers. It's weird that it works that way, but you know, we'll take it. Now this is the Lady D fight. Kat, if you want to explain this.
Looks like you're outside.
So Lady D is, it's very quick. So basically, Zeke's just going to be using mostly the sniper, and he's going to also be using some pipe bombs. So Zeke needs to do a certain amount of damage before she breaks the pillars, but she needs to break the pillars first before she goes flying. So Zeke's going to do a couple shots here, and then he's going to pull out the pipe bombs, taking intentional damage, so it lowers the DA, but also gets rid of the heal, because we definitely don't need that. It takes up inventory space, and yeah, so we want to make room for everything that we possibly can. Alright, so Zeke's going to try and throw 2 pipe bombs before she flies off, and also shooting her with the sniper to make sure we get the maximum amount of damage possible. Nice. She should be at 3.1%, and she's done. Easy. Like I said, this fight goes very, very quick. Hard to explain everything as it's going, but yeah, that's the first half of Lady D.
Yeah, phase 2.
Phase 2. Alright. This is basically a waiting game. Essentially, we just wait for Lady D to do her thing, and then once she says morsel, then we can start doing the damage. It's a good fight, though.
Yeah, so far it's so good. Let's hope we get 3 shots here. It's what we want for a really good fight.
Yeah. Alright, so we wait for morsel. There we go, let's go. Easy clap. Let's go get some hype in the chat for that Lady D.
Poggers.
You're the one who's cursed.
That fight is actually like a lot better than what it used to be because we figured out the pipe bomb thing. A shout out to Noodle and Ross for that one, for figuring out that the pipe bombs are overpowered on her. So we kind of routed around that.
Looks like I'm getting
She has a lot of weird mechanics, like she has non-lethal frames until she says morsel, like Kat was talking about. But you can bring her health down to a certain point, and it'll stay at that point for that part of the fight. So that's why I shot her before going up the stairs. But yeah, that was actually a very good fight. We take those.
Yeah, that was really good. Yeah. Yeah, so now we're gonna be moving on towards Village 2. I guess we could go back to Village again.
Back to the village, part 2.
Yeah, back to the Village part 2. This part isn't too much of a headache on casual, thankfully. Sometimes a Lycan can get a little handsy.
Just a little bit.
A little bit. But usually it's very, very simple to get through, thankfully. Just need to make sure you have your shotgun out.
It's a little bit of a walking simulator, so if there are any blurbs or donations or anything along those lines, you can feel free to let them go now, because we're basically just walking for a few minutes.
So we don't have any donations at the moment, but I'll just say that we would like to thank ESA for supporting this marathon, besides providing us with their channel for streaming. They also share gear, technical assistance and sponsors. Be sure to check out ESA's next event, which is ESA Summer 2021, which is happening from the 24th to the 31st of July. But I'd also like to say that all donations raised are going to Crisis and the help against homelessness and finding homelessness people's accommodation to stay.
There you are.
Awesome.
I had a
Poggers,
feeling.
thank you.
Yeah, so somebody was asking, Village isn't easy to crack due to the design of the flags. So this game actually is a lot more lenient in terms of flags and stuff like that when it comes to skips. It's a lot more lenient than Resident Evil 7, where 7 is just riddled with flags. So doing any sort of out of bounds, like you can go out of bounds, but it will just soft lock nonstop. Whereas this game, there's actually quite a few out of bounds and useful ones at that. But the main one that's actually probably the biggest is in the castle where you skip 2 daughter fights, which is kind of cool. But Glitchless is a lot more relaxed because you don't have to worry about a pipe bomb working or not.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing where in 7 there's no chance you were skipping anything like up 2 mini boss fights to like get further in the game. This game does not check those boss fights surprisingly before it allows you to progress, which is very unique. I think you don't usually see like a mistake like that from like a design standpoint, especially from a company like Capcom. But you know, it uses it to our advantage in the 80% run, so we take those.
Yeah. Yeah. So that, I'm glad that Lycan didn't decide to hug you.
I hope this guy also doesn't touch me. Alright, cool. You saw earlier I shot a door when I was up top there. It's really hard to see, but there's a little lock in that door. It gives us a shortcut around, because normally we'd have to like run all the way around next to a big Lycan and like use like key to get into a place, but we just shot the lock off from up top there and let us like shortcut all the way through.
Yeah, there used to be a way to shoot so it used to be where you would shoot the lock through the fence, but now it's like we realized, oh, we can just shoot it from up here. So, and it's kind of a struggle bus to shoot that lock sometimes because with how the G7, or sorry, not the G17, I'm stuck on 7. With how the Lemmy works, or how any of the guns work in this game, if you shoot at one point, the gun will just be like, oh no, you meant to shoot on the right? Maybe far left? No, you didn't want center, right?
It's the aim is so the hip fire also. This gun is like a painful example of horrible hip fire. We don't really hip fire the sniper except in a few situations, but dude, it's awful. It is like I'm surprised it even stays on the screen. It's so bad. Like you'll shoot and it's going to another zip code, man. Like the bullet's just gone. It never goes near your reticle ever.
Yeah, I don't understand how or why that happens, or it's just a thing. Just Capcom things, you know?
There's something I have to tell you.
Definitely
But,
Capcom things.
What's going
Yeah.
on?
But yeah, the sniper is great when you aim down sights, but if you try to hip fire with it, you're just going to just absolutely hate yourself for it.
Yeah, it's bad. It's super painful. So we try to avoid it when we can.
What the hell is this?
Yeah.
Everyone
So
loves me.
we're actually going to be going into the Benviento house.
I don't want to-
This house is probably one of my favorite locations. I don't know about you.
It's casually, it's amazing. It's so cool. And like it just amps up the game and like probably up to this point on a casually be like, okay, this game's really fun, but like I feel like I'm maybe missing some puzzles, maybe missing some spookiness, and Benviento House covers all of that and some. You get a lot of stuff in this house. It's great. It's an awesome thing. And we actually have to do all the puzzles. There's no real skips other than the baby skip, which that's gonna be an interesting one we'll talk about in a bit. But yeah, it's a dope house. Big fan.
Yeah, the one thing about this house, I guess we can mention is that no matter what difficulty you're playing, it will always be the same. Like nothing changes. The baby stays the same pace. Wait, come with me, Ethan. Oh, thank you. But yeah, so everything stays the same. It's kind of weird how it stays the same, but I can kind of understand because the baby would be a little terrifyingly weird at higher movement speed.
Very spooky. Just thinking about like the Village of Shadows baby slithering at you at like Mach 10. Ugh.
Oh god, no.
I'm not on board.
No, thank you. I shall pass. No, thank you.
It's a little glitch here. Not really a glitch, a bug, I suppose. That was discovered recently, where if you just step out of the house for a moment, step back in, you'll get your outside speed back for a little bit. Otherwise, you'd be like walking like this, like I am right now, through all of that, which saves actually about like 4.5 seconds. But yeah, that was recently discovered a few weeks ago. We don't know why it is like that.
Yeah, it's I still don't understand how it works. Even I struggle with it sometimes because sometimes you can go outside and then come back in, but you'll still have the same indoor speed. But I don't know. It's a very cool trick though.
Yeah, it's nice, a little speed boost. I wish we had it throughout the whole house. We'd be zooming through this whole thing.
Oh, I know, right? That'd be beautiful.
And now
I kind of
Angie.
find it. She's awake.
We hate Angie, actually. All my homies hate Angie. You'll find out in a bit why, but my god, is she annoying.
Yeah, we'll definitely explain that in a hot second, but
Where's my gun?
until then, we got some I don't even
Ethan's
Side
gonna feel
note,
up this mannequin.
why does he need to feel up the mannequin? Like, is he checking for a pulse? what is going on?
I don't really know what that one's all about. You're not gonna
I
feel
gotta
the key
feel.
through it. Like, like I don't understand. Actually, it's a great question, Ethan. What's up, man? Like, I know it looks like Mia, but that's not your wife.
Yep, nope, that is definitely not wife.
Got a series of puzzles we're basically doing, and they're the same answer every time. So I'm gonna blow through them, hopefully.
Yeah, thankfully, there's no RNG to
Well, I do real quick there. There we go.
Yeah, so thankfully there's no RNG to these puzzles. It's very straightforward, all the same, which makes our lives a lot easier in remembering where things should go. Sometimes, we get a little brain farts where we, slip up a bit, but that's fine.
Yeah, like that right there.
Yeah, just probably like that. Don't worry, I have the same thing happen to me all the time. Oh god, the hitbox on this.
Yeah, it's this game is incredibly punishing for missed inputs. We used to think RE7 was incredibly punishing for missing an interaction with an item because it makes you wait a second before you can do it again. This game makes you wait like 10 seconds. So when you try to click on that mouth there and you click on the eye, Ethan gets real close to that eye. He's got to make sure that that's the eyes. He gets super close and he's like, oh no, that's not it. And it takes about 10 minutes getting off the eye before you're allowed to use the mouth. It's really, that sounds weird out of context, but it makes sense.
Yeah, it drives me crazy because the missed inputs in 7, it's just like, okay, I lose 3 seconds. Kind of annoying, but okay. This game, I missed an input. I lost 10 seconds. Very annoyed, but
Yeah.
okay.
It's so painful. And even this little movie right here, if you accidentally start up with the wrong things in place, it's going to try to play the movie before it tells you that you messed up. So it just takes forever.
Yeah. It's very, very unfortunate how much time you can lose just in these small moments. But thankfully Zeke here knows his way about and when to press confirm and when to not press confirm.
You learn those lessons the very, very hard way. A lot of dead
Yeah.
runs.
Alright. Bye, Angie.
So the lore of this area is there are some flowers outside that are making Ethan basically hallucinate. All the stuff that he's seeing right here, which are implemented by Donna Beneviento, who communicates and operates through Angie. She sometimes talks herself, but a lot of it is Angie.
Yeah.
So that's why we're seeing a bunch of stuff, like we're seeing Mia, we're hearing Mia and stuff like that, and we're gonna see a big baby soon. Very, very fun, that big baby. But in case you didn't know why is all this stuff happening, it doesn't really make sense. That's why. Because we're hallucinating.
So I guess technically Ethan has all his weapons right now. He's just hallucinating off his mind, thinking he doesn't have anything. Even the money's gone. Hallucinating that his money, his guns are gone.
You hate to see it.
Yeah, you just
Poor
hate
guy.
to see it.
Can't feel the 20 pounds of sniper rifle and shotgun on him.
The sound of babies. How do you feel about that, chat?
It's a cute baby. You guys are gonna see real soon.
Very cute, I promise.
Very, very cute. And we skip him, and it's scary. If you mess up the skip, it is not forgiving at all. There's like it's one of those types of things where the baby is basically, you can think of it as its own tyrant. He's walking around this area now. As soon as we hit that trigger, the baby's now active all over the place. And if you get hit by the baby, you instantly get swallowed. And it is not pretty.
Yummy.
It's very not yummy. Very, very sad when it happens. So we're hoping we don't mess up the skip we have to do later, where we have to actually just run past the baby straight up. And yeah, that's the whole gist of it. We kind of have to like touch hands with the baby and then get away from it.
There's actually quite a few setups for the skip that Zeke's about to be doing in a short minute. It's changed drastically so many times. Like, oh, you can go this way, or you can go behind the door, or you can, it kind of wild how many variations of the skip there is.
And we've adapted it to be as fast as possible. I would say I'm probably one of the only people that does it the way that I do it. It's incredibly risky. But it's, for me, the only consistent one that I've been able to do for a long time. So we're basically going to be using visual cues to like know when the baby's going to move and just be like a frame ahead of it. So I'm going to focus on that really quick because I do not want to mess that up.
I believe. Chat, do you believe? There's some baby rages in the chat. Oh, nice.
It's so scary.
There it is, dude.
The skip terrifies me, man. It's so scary. It's not like any later than that, any earlier than that, and I die.
For anybody who didn't believe in chat, sucks.
Come on, man. You're gonna hurt my feelings with that one, chat. You're not gonna believe in me? That's messed up. Look at her. So cute.
Anybody want a baby?
Fun fact, that's what all babies look like. All of them.
All of them.
They all look like this. Look at her. Just kissable. What a beautiful child. Bye-bye.
Please no.
Now Angie. So this is one of the biggest RNG pain points in the run. Basically the idea behind this is Angie has 3 spawns. The first one's set every single time. She's going to be upstairs in the furthest room away. We need to find her 2 more times after that, and it's one of 2 options for each spot. One is close and one is far, conveniently. The benefits and like what we figured out to work around it is the first one's reactable because you can see where she spawns. We'll walk past it and we'll see that she's either there or not there, and we know she's in the other spot because it's on the way. After that, it becomes a bit more of a pain in the ass. Because if we get the good first spawn, we can hear where she goes, left or right, based on the direction of my earphones. If we get the bad one, we cannot hear that, and we kind of have to YOLO it and hope she spawned in the close one. If not, then we gotta take the walk of shame to the far away one.
Well, thankfully, if we get the second spawn, the furthest spawn on the second location, you can actually use a little bit of a visual cue. But thankfully Zeke got the closest one, so now we can listen on in and see which way she goes. Oh,
Ooh, we got far left spawn.
yeah,
Unlucky.
we got the far one.
The other spawn is right there. Super convenient, right next to the door.
Yeah, very nice. And instead, she takes us all the way to the elevator. Thank you, Angie. Good old RNG.
Yeah, our Angie, not great. Don't like Angie. But like I said, Ethan's hallucinating all this. He's not actually stabbing Angie right now. He's actually stabbing Donna Beneviento. You'll see that here in a second. How you not notice the size of this maybe 2-foot tall doll versus this like, I don't know, 5-something woman, but I don't know.
I don't know. Those are some hallucinogenics, I guess.
Powerful flowers. We gotta grab Angie to sell her.
So I think actually if you end up dying in that section, like if you die to the baby by any chance, I think Ethan's just actually having a heart attack.
Yeah, probably.
Like he
actually.
doesn't actually die, like the baby doesn't exist, it's just he just dies to a heart attack.
That is unlucky.
Yep.
Guess it's better than actually being eaten by the baby.
True. Not wrong. Yes,
Yes,
don't do drugs, kids. It's bad.
don't do drugs, especially those flowers. Don't touch those.
Yeah, don't go near them.
Kat mentioned earlier about 60 FPS in elevators, how they'll sometimes take longer. So I'll tell you something about elevators in this game. Capcom, because they're so smart, hid loading screens in elevators, which means that you'll hop on an elevator and you can't see around you. You can only see 4 walls while the elevator is moving. But what's happening is the game is sometimes loading. Depending on the solid state drive you have or the type of drive you have, it'll sometimes be a fast or a slow load, which is annoying. In the speedrun, we pause to buffer these loads so that it doesn't actually affect our timer. It's a very awful mechanic because sometimes you'll be in an elevator for what feels like 4 hours. You're like, wow, this elevator wasn't this long last time. Did they add a few stories? It's like, no, actually, your hard drive is just taking forever to load the game.
Yep. That's why on base PS4, if you're playing on like, you know, the older gen consoles, those elevators can take up to 2 minutes. 2 straight minutes of just sitting there.
No bueno. Not great.
It's unfortunate.
Super unfortunate. It's awful. Revelations 1, Resident Evil Revelations 1 has the exact same mechanic with doors. It's awful. We don't like it there either. But now we're about to hit our first Duke stop now that we finished the Beneviento house, which is going to involve us ditching our trusty shotgun and upgrading our sniper rifle. Sorry, I think something broke on my end. Apologies.
Only damage them with crits. This is in the Mirage Arena,
I
right?
need to be moved back into the live channel. My Discord crashed. Sorry about that.
He's back.
Discord
Just let it come
decided to
back.
crash. I am so sorry. I don't know what that was all about. Sorry, Kat, can you see the feed again?
I can see everything. You are good to
Okay.
go.
All right. Back at it. Sorry about that. Don't know what happened there.
You are okay. I just heard the Discord disconnect sound, saw the feed went away, and I was like, I guess I'll watch the stream, and then I realized you weren't talking.
All right. So the Duke. This is our first Duke stop. We're selling some stuff and buying some stuff. Basically, we're buying mines, pipe bombs, the pipe recipe, ammo, and we're upgrading our sniper to be power level 3. All very important things we'll need all the way up until we get to Miranda, who's the last boss.
Sorry, I saw some stuff was going on there. You're all alright down there?
We are all
Yes.
Okay, fair.
good. Everything is great.
This is
Well,
fine.
All right, awesome. Yeah, we're gonna be getting into Moreau very shortly. I guess we can get into maybe a short blurb.
Yeah, that'd be a good time.
Yeah, no worries. So we have no donations. However, so we just read up. Let me see. What one did I pick? I'll pick this one. I would like to thank BSG for supporting this marathon. They hold bi-monthly gatherings in the Netherlands. They have supported UKSG from the beginning by spreading the word and providing us with a channel to stream on in past sessions, amongst other things. Mark your calendars, guys, because BSG Annual 2021 at home is happening on the 15th to the 21st of August and is streamed on his very ESA channel, so you won't have to go very far to watch it. So make sure you mark that down your calendars.
Exciting.
Oh. All right. This is another long elevator that can take up to 2 minutes on console if you're not, you know, speedrunning this on the PS5 or something like that, or Xbox, the new Xbox. But thankfully to PC power and SSDs, we don't have to worry about that too much.
Yeah, it can, we will sometimes struggle with like 6-second load times, but we'll pause through them. No point to do that during an RTA run, because it just ends up making it longer for no reason, so it doesn't, there's no point to do that.
Yeah. I just want to mention that Ethan literally could have walked away with that flask. So in that cutscene, Ethan grabs the flask and then taunts Moreau with it when Moreau didn't even see him in the first place. So literally Ethan could have walked away with the flask scot-free, but no.
Yeah, I don't. Ethan is so different in this game, man. It is crazy. This dude just like is out here. He just doesn't care anymore. He does a lot of things, says a lot of things, talks a lot of smack the whole run. It's amazing.
Got a lot of sweet one-liners we're gonna be coming up on.
Oh yeah. I love the Ethan one-liners in this game. They're so good.
Yeah. Todd Soley, the voice actor for Ethan, really stepped up his game this time around.
Oh yeah.
Decided they gave him a little bit more than just constant swearing.
Yeah, honestly, if you look at the dialogue of RE7, it's just like 90% of the F word coming out of Ethan, and then sometimes where he's yelling. Like that's like the whole thing.
Yep. No, he doesn't. He's a lot more toned down in 7, so it's nice to see that he has a lot more to say in this time around, anyways.
Definitely. But now we were talking about Moreau about 40 minutes ago. Now we're gonna go to his part of the game, and he is the best, quite literally.
He is literally the best. No one can ever say otherwise.
That's him.
And we actually, hi Moreau, you're looking great, honey.
Great form. Excellent.
Yeah, so we actually get to ride a boat in this game, except for you'd think you'd be fighting the boss in the boat. No, it's just to get from point A to point B, and the boss is literally, the boat just has a mind of its own sometimes.
Yeah, the boat is. You can tell Capcom's never designed a boat in their life, or like I'm pretty sure no one at Capcom has like driven a boat ever, because when you pull up to the dock, it just starts spinning.
Well, even the RE4 boat was kind of, it had its own little wonkiness to it.
Oh, yeah, I actually forgot about that. They have designed a boat before. They did not take notes. They did not realize that maybe we shouldn't have done that this way. It's really weird. Basically, you pull up to the dock, you would think you need to pull up parallel to it, nice and snug, for speedrun purposes, but no. The game doesn't like that. Fun fact, on my first time speedrunning this game, I pulled up to the dock, parked awkwardly, and it spun my boat like 360 degrees, and my computer crashed. It was so sad. It's really, really bad.
Wonderful. Loved it. Although this game has also made me crash 1 or 2 times. Kind of a lot.
Yeah, it's, you know, it's a Capcom RE Engine game. So this whole section with Moreau is interesting in regards that Moreau is also kind of like the baby, has a one-shot mechanic built into him, where if we get hit by Moreau while we're like running across a bridge or something, he will just kill us. So we do certain movements and stuff to avoid that from happening. We try to be as fast as possible, skip certain animations and stuff so it doesn't happen. So you're going to see me hit a bunch of levers to avoid that from happening here soon, because these are all on a timer.
Yeah, and Zeke does have to hit them in a particular order. Thankfully, we don't have to touch the orange lever because we can just hit it there. But yeah, if you don't hit the levers before going back, after hitting the white lever, yeah, you're just gonna have a bad time. Bro, who's the best?
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. He's the best. Watch him, mama. It's amazing. He's such a weird character, and this is the same voice actor for Lucas in Resident Evil 7.
I love it.
He killed it. That range. That is some crazy range as a VA. Absolutely kills it with this character.
I love the range on a lot of these characters. It's actually like, especially like Angie, like she's the same voice actress who does Evelyn, and her range is also kind of crazy too because she can do like really high pitched voices. Honestly, I think that all the voice actors in this game did a phenomenal job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely amazing. If you haven't seen like the extra footage where they did the mocap scene of like the intro to them, it is amazing, and I highly recommend you watch it.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for behind the scenes stuff, so looking at any sort of mocap stuff just makes me all giddy.
Yeah, I'm a big fan too. I'm right there with you. Okay, now we got the windmill. Thankfully, due to an animation skip I did earlier, the windmill should line up right as I get off this crane. So thankfully we won't have to wait, but there is some, what I thought was RNG, but it's really a timing-based interaction where it's sometimes, because we have to climb a ladder up this windmill here in a second. This wouldn't be here, it would instead still be spinning, we have to like sit here and wait forever. But there's an animation skip I did with Moreau earlier by being fast, which got me here before this happens, so it used to be a big pain.
Yeah, you'd have to, sometimes you'd have to wait there for like a couple seconds, and it's just like, alright, are you gonna stop now? Anytime now.
You're just waiting for your Uber, and they took the wrong turn, you're just like, come on, man. Let me out of here.
Yeah. We're finally done with all the crank business. Finally can, you know, move on to go see our best boy.
Okay.
Our bestest boy with a very interesting fight. But if I do it correctly, he'll die very, very fast.
You got this. I believe.
Pog. So Moreau is, I'll actually let Kat explain Moreau. She loves Moreau, and I know she has a lot of words about Moreau. So Kat, if you would explain your favorite fight in the game, that would be great.
I hate you. So Moreau here, if you don't have your DA, difficulty adjustment, for those who tuned in late, if you don't have it low enough, he can be very difficult. But thankfully, Zeke should have it at a certain point where it should be very quick. So what he's going to do is he's going to toss the pipe bomb early, and then walk up so it hits Moreau to stop him. And then he's going to throw 2 pipe bombs, one to hit a barrel behind him to do a crazy amount of damage, and then use these landmines, and then it's done. It's hard to explain really quickly because the fight is just that quick.
Ooh, and if you mess it up, it is very not quick.
Yeah.
It's like an extra minute of just hanging out while he rains acid from above because he phases.
Let's just say he sometimes saves some for you later.
It's so bad.
I hate it so much. That happened to me on my run not too long ago for a marathon, and yeah, let's just say I had to sit there for a hot minute while he decided to just give me the good old acid. But that was really good.
Yeah, that actually went very well. According to plan, we've gotten Moreau down a bit more. He used to be really bad, like really, really, really bad, because we didn't have Moreau has very strange mechanics. That barrel behind him that Kat talked about earlier that I blew up would sometimes have some weird, strange, I don't know, they put different gunpowder in sometimes. I have no clue. But if you hit it, it'll explode and do like 3 times the amount of damage it normally would. And Moreau was suddenly at 2,000 health after just the pipe bombs. You're like, oh, well, this is nice and easy, but incredibly inconsistent. Not something we can replicate. Yeah. And then Moreau, also, if you put the mines on a certain side of him, he'll take triple damage to them. But if you put them in front of him, they'll instead do like nothing to him. It's really, really strange and really bad. His hitboxes do not make any sense, and that is a huge pain point for people in this run because he's just super weird. Like the mine placement I had to be exact, or else that strat would not have worked. So it's wild. It's all over the place, but we did it, and we don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, no, that went very, very well. Yeah, so that fight it's actually not too rough to learn. Oh, get that box early. So yeah, it's not too rough to learn. It's just very, it's incredibly tight in how you execute the pipe bombs and where you put the landmines. But once you get that down, it's not too
hardest boss in the game.
Oh, Billy.
Those goats are brutal, man. They are just disgustingly scary. Like they'll hit you and they will mess you up so bad. We have to kill them.
Billy the goat.
Sometimes they're not in your way at all, and you can just walk around them. But then when they're like that, you kind of have to kill them. You gotta put them down.
I've seen those goats literally haul it, like just run right after you, and you think you're far away. No. That goat will knock you right in the butt.
Yeah, it's pain. It's It's actually a huge time loss too, because Ethan takes a huge hit. He just staggers because he can't mentally comprehend that he just got messed up by a goat. You lose like 3 seconds for every hit. It's so bad.
Every time I get hit by that goat, I swear my mouse just breaks more and more.
F for the mouse.
Yeah, just big F for my mouse.
Many a mouse have been lost to this game. I almost lost my mouse to this game. It can get frustrating. Those points in the game are very unforgiving. I've explained this run a few times in the sense that the run is incredibly nice to get into and it's very easy to get into. The ceiling isn't too high on it, so there's a lot you can get from the game and learn a lot and have a lot of fun. But then it is incredibly unforgiving once you're starting to really save a lot of time and your time saves get lower and lower. That means the time losses get higher and higher in contrast. So it gets painful. And this dude showed up.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those very low ceiling to learn and get into, but the skill to get a very good time and just hoping the game plays nice. I think oftentimes though it's mostly hoping the game just plays nice. Because yeah, like Zeke said, it can be very unforgiving. It's a fun run at its core, but if you're pushing for those times, it can get quite frustrating.
Yeah, definitely. And if you saw earlier, we went into a shack and we picked up this bad boy right here. It's going to help us out for a lot of the remainder of the run. But now, you can't really see it, but our inventory is basically completely full, so I can't pick up extra stuff or it's going to make my life really, really hard.
Yeah. And we mentioned earlier about how the sniper has a terrible hip fire. So a big reason why he will aim down sights for that one Lycan at the bridge, because if he tries to hip fire that, it's not gonna work. The bullet goes over his head, around him, anywhere but hitting him.
It's so bad. It is just not worth it. I highly recommend ADSing in almost every scenario if you can, because the sniper. It doesn't make sense. The game just basically, I think it assumes that if you're trying to hip fire the sniper, you don't deserve to be shooting it, so it just doesn't actually shoot a bullet.
Yeah. For whatever reason, I don't hate it, but it is what it is. All right, time for some Hagrid or Urius, whichever I call him Hagrid. He will forever be Hagrid to me, but yes, time for some Hagrid.
Definitely Hagrid. So for Hagrid, what we're going to be doing is actually very interesting. This is a strat that I developed to make this work. He's very strange. We're shooting him. You'll see me aim for his head, and at some points not aim for his head. Basically, the reason behind this is we're trying to make sure he doesn't phase at certain points, and we're trying to make sure he does at a certain point.
Yeah, so you'll see Zeke doing various headshots to body shots to make sure he's not doing too much damage, but enough damage to get him out of his phase, so to speak. So him phasing would be him whenever he yells. So if he yells and you don't stagger him while he's yelling, it can cause some Lycans to fall down, and that just gets a little messy. So no Lycan spawn, which is good. So now we just gotta do a bunch of headshots, and oh, he's done.
Easy clap.
That is Hagrid, or Furious, whichever you want to call him. But Hagrid.
We'll see him later. He'll come back.
He likes to stick around. Yeah, that's very fast, very good, nice.
Yeah, that fight is very interesting. That was like I said when Kat mentioned the DA that we found, and all that stuff. That was the fight that made me lose my mind, because it didn't make any sense how Kat would not face him, but I would face him, or vice versa, and it became very strange. And then we found out that the timing of Uria's shots and the placement of Uria's shots all mattered tremendously. So we basically time it so that we phase Urias right as he spawns or tries to spawn Lycans, so that he skips it and instead jumps down immediately after. It's a super nice try. It works out very well.
Yeah.
We have time for a donation.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Right, Nayado, hopefully I pronounced your name right, with $25 in my own best Moru voice. No, hopefully I can get this right. So it's gonna be a bit cringe, but whatever. I go, Zeke's the best. There you go, $25. Hopefully that was a decent impression. Hopefully that's made him happy.
Great.
There you go. $25 towards Crisis.
Awesome job.
you.
Perfect impression. And thank you, Niddle. Appreciate that.
Beautiful.
We got all the flasks. Woo.
It's my
Yeah, time to put rows together, kind of.
Yeah, we're putting a baby back together in this big cauldron. Don't worry about it. Or chalice, rather.
Yeah, and for some reason, somehow, yeah, Ethan can just pick up this giant thing.
Yeah, I don't.
No.
It's huge, man.
It just turns into a little mini version that can fit in his pocket somehow.
I don't understand. I mean, that's if anything had to be said about Ethan this run, it's the fact that he could carry everything in the world, apparently.
Yeah. Yeah, I still don't understand that one, but you know what? There's been weirder things in the Resident Evil games.
True. I mean, Ethan is mold. I mean, spoiler alert. Well, we'll skip the cutscene that explains it anyways, but Ethan had died in Resident Evil 7. If you didn't know that about the lore of the game, Ethan died at the end, or somewhere between the end of Guest House in Resident Evil 7 and when taking over as Ethan in the main house. He was actually died and then made molded, and now carried over into this game. Ethan, that's why Ethan's able to reattach limbs so easily, and why he can survive most things most people won't survive, which you'll see later in the game. He gets his heart ripped out, and he just doesn't care.
Yep. It's quite a. I actually really enjoyed that cutscene though. It's a very brutal cutscene.
The one with Miranda?
Yo, with Miranda, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, big agree. And the one later with Evelyn as well are two like very like lore heavy, brutal cutscenes. And the ending of this game. Yeah, if you haven't played it casually, and you will, you're gonna cry if you loved the 7. Man, this game is so sad at the end.
I've cried so many times to the ending of this damn game.
It's so I can't watch casual playthroughs, man. I tear up. It's bad. I love Ethan. I spent 3.5 years running Resident Evil 7. I got attached to the guy, even though he had no emotions in 7, basically. But brutal.
I think it was even worse for anybody who spent a very long time speedrunning Resident Evil 7, like especially for us, since we spent like 3 to 4 years with Ethan, getting frustrated with Ethan, getting sad with Ethan, you know, all those good times. But the ending of this game is just like, why?
Yeah.
Why? You made me like him even more, and now why?
It's painful, but that being said, on the terms of cutscenes, we just skipped probably one of my most favorite cutscenes of the whole game, which is the Heisenberg cutscene. So now we're in the factory, and now we're in Heisenberg's domain. Heisenberg, my favorite lord, he has powers where it allows him to like influence metal, like he can control metal and move it. He's Magneto, basically.
Basically Magneto.
Yeah, he's awesome.
What's that thing?
There's actually a mod where you can put Heisenberg in a Magneto outfit, and it's beautiful. I love that mod.
There's so many good mods. Probably the best is like the Chris Babyface swap mod, where it swaps Rose's baby head model with Chris Redfield's, so they have just different heads, and it's so funny. Oh, okay.
Or the Sailor Chris outfit.
I love Sailor Chris. I'm a Revelation stan, and you can do a Sailor Chris outfit in game in that one. Like it's an actual unlockable costume, where he's wearing a very small and tight sailor outfit, which is very funny. And you can mod it into this game too, and it looks great later in the game.
Oh yeah, it's wonderful. Highly recommend playing with mods in this game if you have a PC.
For sure. So Factory.
Yes.
We all hate Factory. It
Yes.
has been such a problem for us ever since we started routing it, but it's gotten better with the grenade launcher. The enemies a little bit better.
No.
Basically, the problem with Factory is its enemy density is just it is at points where it doesn't make sense. Like those two guys at the door, before we had grenade launcher, we'd use the shotgun, and that does not work. And then these two guys here will also sometimes be a pain, where they'll just block you. And those enemies right there, if they grab you, they literally do a Mortal Kombat finisher move on you that lasts like 30 seconds, and it just does like 100 damage to Ethan. It's not even that much, but it lasts so long.
Especially we're gonna be meeting a new enemy just coming up here, and their grab animations can last an eternity. I swear it is far too long. These drill boys, or soldats as they're called, take so long to stop grabbing you sometimes. So yeah, basically you just don't want to get grabbed almost ever. Not ideal.
Definitely not ideal, which is why you'll see me abuse 30 FPS here the most, because it is just too unforgiving to be grabbed. Way too unforgiving.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where you really want to utilize the FPS swap, or yeah, you're just gonna have a bad time.
Big true.
So yeah, we're gonna be actually coming back to this room quite a bit, because unfortunately we need to make many molds. Funny how they added that in, considering Ethan has made a mold.
It's one of those hindsight things. You'll notice a lot in the run, like Lady Dimitrescu, she tried Ethan's blood, like, tastes a little stale. It's like, well, it's because it's mold.
Don't like the taste of mold? This room, and it can get a little spicy. Those cog wheels, when they're coming down, if they hit you even a little bit, it will either knock you forward or backwards, but it also does a ton of damage. And if those enemies are nearby while that hits you, it's quite a headache.
It escalates pretty fast. It's bad. Like, you'll get hit by them, and then by the thing, and then by them again. It's really bad.
Yep. Yes. Since I've been able to experience this game on casual and hardcore for speedruns, hardcore, that room is a lot more of a headache, considering the enemies are just a lot more aggressive.
We're gonna bait this fella in here. What how cute he looks. What a handsome
It looks
guy.
great.
Absolutely.
I would laugh if you actually got hit.
I think about it every time, actually. Like, all of the time I'm thinking, like, what if this happens now? I laugh in the face of death.
You can actually not really despawn that soldat, but you can reset him, so to speak, when you go up a flight of stairs and come back down, and for whatever reason, his AI is just like, oh, you wanted me back here, right? And then you don't have to deal with him, but, you know, Zeke likes to live on the edge.
True, live dangerously. Don't look both ways before you cross the road.
I thought we could join forces against that bitch Miranda.
Oh, yeah, Heisenberg does not like Miranda. Even though he's one of her children, he does not like Miranda.
He likes to tell you that quite a lot throughout your adventures through the factory.
Took us to be her children.
He has choice words.
She locked us away in the village.
Quite choice words.
Of being forced to serve her.
It almost sounds like he's like a child sometimes, where he complains about mom. She took away my favorite toy. How dare she?
I'm not like my sibling.
She just likes the vampire lady more, man.
And to be free.
I'm better than my brother and sisters. How dare she?
So I need power.
That's why hopefully the DLC expands more, but basically the lore of these lords is like the Cadu's that are put inside them to make them what they are, and the Cadu has an affinity to them, basically like how well they took the power, and Heisenberg is actually the best. That's why he's the strongest of the lords, because he had the Cadu affinity of a god, apparently.
Yeah.
You should have never refused.
And there is
me,
some
Ethan.
lore information at the end that kind of explains, like, I guess the tiers of all the lords, like which one is and then the other ones that are like, yes, this is perfect.
Exactly. Heisenberg is S tier. Lady Dimitrescu is A tier.
Miranda thinks we're
Donna
doing
Benevento is
what
B tier. And Moreau is just F tier.
Oh, she doesn't care
Poor
for
Moreau,
me.
man.
No.
He just wanted to make Mama
She's
happy.
long lost all her humanity.
We stand Moreau.
Destroy her.
We do indeed stand Moreau. He's the best boy.
Now this upcoming room, the big fan room, actually a massive pain, because we have what's called the Time Lost Twins, which are two soldats that make this room a pain, but yeah, it's not fun sometimes.
Yeah, so you have to shoot these red dots to make the fan stop spinning at the top. So you have to make your way to the top, but unfortunately there are some enemies that kind of get in the way while you're trying to do said thing. But thankfully, they're quite easy to shoot, and you can get them pretty early, so by the time you get to the top, they shouldn't really be much of an issue, and Zeke's going to use the grenade launcher here to kind of slow this one down, so it's not doing a little bit of a bump to the noggin when you get up here to the ladder.
The problem with these guys is the way I do Stronghold earlier, where I snipered that Lycan, saves that one shot for me here, because otherwise they get in front of the ladder. They both jump up to the ladder and they will mess you up, and they have crazy long attack drill animations. And they can hit you while you're on the ladder. So you climb the ladder at 1,000 health, which is max HP. They'll start drilling you, and you're at 0 HP as soon as you get off the ladder. It just doesn't make any sense. So yeah, that room is a massive pain.
Yeah. You usually like to take things risky sometimes, but for some reason you play that room safe, and then me over here, I'm the one who takes that room super risky, and I don't use a grenade for that at all.
I can't. There's like, it's like you and other runners are like, yeah, I don't need to do anything to get through that room. I just walk to the ladder and I climb up. Like, why don't you just climb the ladder? Forehead. And I'm like, okay. First of all, it has never worked for me like that. They've always been a massive problem for me. I could not understand it, so that's why I do it the way that I do, which works out in the end. But yeah, I don't mess with that room. It scares me to death.
We're just built different, man.
Yeah, I guess I have some stuff to learn still.
Just gotta up your game a little bit, alright? Alright. Time to go get the Heisenberg Key and get out of here.
True, that easy. Surely there's no propeller head boss fight we have to worry about.
No. You just walk out, right?
Just walk out the front door.
Yeah, perfect.
Don't worry.
It's that easy.
I'll stop it. I'll use Rose to kill Miranda.
I like how he says Miranda and not Miranda. We mention it all the time, but it's just so funny to all of us, where it's just like Miranda.
So why does he say it like that? It doesn't even like. And there are some moments he says Miranda, and I'm like, what did the VA did a fantastic job at Heisenberg. Do not get me wrong, but like, was he just improvising randomly?
Yeah, it's just like, well, why is she sometimes Miranda and then other times Miranda? Sir, I have some words.
Very confused.
Well, initially, the voice actor for Heisenberg is actually British, and I had no idea until I watched one of his streams, and I was just like, oh, he's actually English. Okay. So that I guess sometimes when he was doing the voice, it might have just been accent mishap. Maybe, I don't know.
That's possible. But he did do a fantastic job. God, the voice for Heisenberg is like, oh, double S tier, so good.
Yeah, he did great. I don't know why, it took me like a hot minute to just get used to seeing the voice and the body together, because it is kind of a little jarring at first, so once you've played through the game a bit, it's just like, oh, I actually really like the voice, and I actually really like the character.
Yeah, because the voice seems a little like, oh goodness, I hate when that happens. The voice is, it initially does seem a little like mismatched, but then you start to like understand the character more, and you're like, oh yeah, no, this makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Oh, they're just hanging out over there.
Yeah, keep an eye on them. This, what you just saw me pick up that crystal heart is a perfect example of how this game handles hitboxes and item pickups. That heart was up above me, up there, and the game decided to let me pick it up.
Yeah, that happens to me all the time. I don't understand how it works. It's the same thing with if there's an enemy down below, sometimes they will hit you from they'll sometimes hit you when you're a floor above. It doesn't. I don't understand, but sometimes that just happens. I've lost a run to that because I was running on hardcore, and then all of a sudden it was just like, no, you die now. I'm like, oh, okay.
The game is weird. Also, Ethan is like a tangible person during cutscenes. He could be hit. very strange. There's a glitch in Village of Shadows you'll see sometimes where they'll start a cutscene, like the castle cutscene right before going to castle, and Heisenberg grabs you, and they'll die in the cutscene. It's really
yeah,
stupid.
true. Yeah, there's some weird things like that. I think it's when Lady D goes to like slash at you sometimes too, she'll hit you in the cutscene.
Really dumb. But okay, Sturm. This is a pain point for me. This fight's hard. Especially since I use a hard strat. Yeah, you go right ahead.
Alright. Alright, so basically what Zeke's going to be doing here is he's going to be placing down some landmines, and then he's going to be throwing some pipe bombs behind Sturm. And he's going to do it very, very quickly, so let's see how that goes. Make some pipe bombs here. Oh, he dead! He's dead! Woo!
That is
Got knocked
so
back a little bit.
scary.
That's okay.
Yeah, that fight is such a pain. Like this was a recent strat that I came up with when we were working out how to have pipe bombs and the grenade launcher later for Heisenberg, and I discovered that we can kill Sturm as soon as he becomes active if we have all three mines down, and we get all three pipe bombs out before he takes a step. Because if he takes a step, he'll set off the landmine and then set off all the pipe bombs, and it'll screw up the blast order. Which is awesome, except Ethan has to take a hit because he's right next to Sturm, and you cannot switch off your weapon as soon as you finish. You have to hold the pipe bombs. So we don't have to go back into the inventory later. So it's incredibly annoyingly complex and very high reset point now this late into the run.
Yeah, it's quite a risky strat, but you got it down nice and clean. Did you?
Yeah, I'm very surprised it was not working in practice earlier.
Hey, can't complain.
True, we take those fat dubs.
Yeah, at least it seems like all the boss fights have been going pretty clean so far. So you know what? Good job. Oh, nice.
Yeah, now
give yourself a little bit of the speed boost.
Exactly. Now, if you in every Resident Evil game, we have our patented mech battle, like you do.
Yeah, look, this is a completely normal thing.
Yeah, we're gonna fight Heisenberg in a robot. Very PogChamp. It's like there's no much more to it other than the fact that that's exactly what's about to happen.
Yeah, so Heisenberg as a boss fight is it's basically kind of like an auto-scroller. You basically just shoot the red points on him and then eventually he'll die. But of course sometimes Heisenberg can be a little bit difficult by blocking the red points. Like now. So thankfully he got through that, so now we're just going to be shooting his arms and making sure he doesn't do the weird, I don't even know what to call it, where he brings up the metal sheets. Yeah, we want to avoid that essentially, but thankfully on casual, Heisenberg,
it's actually okay. This is actually what we want. When Heisenberg brings up the sheets like that, he exposes another weak point which shares health with the rest of Heisenberg.
True.
So we get to kill him actually faster as a result, except this is the part that sucks. He just has no speed. He's so slow.
Yeah, so Heisenberg has like a certain spot where he needs to go in order to do whatever he's doing right now. And unfortunately, if you have him on one side of the room, he will literally slug his way all the way to the other side.
Yeah, slug is a generous term.
Alright, throw the pipe bombs, throw one more, and he's done! Easy.
Easy clap.
Easy boss fight, easy life.
It's really a shame. I thought Heisenberg have a much crazier, cooler, but I mean, it's cool on like a visual aesthetic. Also, rip frames. It's about to dip hard for a second.
Sorry, chat.
Yeah, this is too much stuff on the screen. It looks really cool, don't get me wrong. But it wasn't a very engaging fight on the casual playthrough, but you know, it's still fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I honestly kind of, like, deep down, I was kind of hoping it was going to be, like, his human form a little bit. Because it could have been such a cool fight, just fighting his, like, his human form alone just because of what he can do.
Yeah.
Instead, we fight his giant slug form, metal slug.
Because it gives me the same vibes as Wesker from Resident Evil 5, whereas Wesker had crazy cool powers too in his human form and like made the fight interesting. Like I feel like it would have been similar with Heisenberg, but nonetheless still very cool.
Yeah.
To kill him.
But yeah, that is the end of Factory, and we're gonna be hanging out with our good pal boulder punching. Not gonna say that, but the boulder puncher.
That's true. If you didn't catch that in the fight, Heisenberg says something along the lines of that boulder punching a-hole, which is a reference to Resident Evil 5, where Chris, it's a meme in the Resident Evil community where Chris Redfield punches a boulder into a volcano.
And somehow Heisenberg knows about that. Not sure how, but here we are, Capcom just doing Capcom things.
Exactly. Now we're Chris. Oh, in case you didn't see that, Ethan just died. Again.
Yeah, Ethan dead now. He
He got his
gone.
heart ripped out. Very sad.
Everyone watch for hostile bioweapons.
Now we're moving on to
Made contact with a group of
Call of
hostile
Duty Chris
bioweapons.
edition.
True.
So basically, Zeke's just gonna be shooting a bunch of lichens, and he actually, after every shot, he does do like a tiny block, which allows Chris to continue moving faster. Same with the pause there, that was actually intentional to make Chris move faster without waiting for him after he slows down, which
Yeah.
is kind of annoying.
Like
But
that
yeah.
little slowdown you just saw, that pause skips basically a longer version of that. Which is one of the few pauses in the game that saves time on RTA because he's actually just so slow. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, for some reason, like when he shoots a gun, he slows down. When he throws things, he slows down. He's kind of a slow boy sometimes.
I need some backup.
This part is just a massive pain because of the risk factor. Like this
Yeah.
whole area is so bad.
Yeah, these lichens can be kind of tricky because if they hit you while you're throwing the grenade, it can actually not throw the grenade. It gets really weird like that. Also, this laser.
Oh my god, this laser.
You got some words for this laser, don't you?
I hate. There's a weird bug in the game, or hitboxes are just designed poorly. I don't know what it is. But you'll sit there and charge that laser, and it won't actually. You have to hit this thing 3 times with the laser. It has like a 30-second to like 1 minute cooldown. You have to hit it 3 times to progress. Sometimes it just won't. You'll be aiming right at it, and it just won't go. And then you lose 30 seconds. I recently lost a world record pace run to that. Very tragic. You hate to see it.
Yep. Yeah, sometimes I've actually lost a few runs to this laser as well sometimes, and there we go, it hit. Thank goodness. Alright.
One more.
Hopefully the one more hits.
May I quickly hop in with a donation?
Yep.
Sure thing.
Right, so Tempest Mask 1000 with $5 says, "Hello, friends of UKSG. Pardon the long message. I intended to donate sooner, but now is as good a time as ever as I wanted to congratulate the crew and everyone for smashing all donation totals. That's amazing, and you should feel amazing for doing it as we continue to keep fighting against homelessness. I think ending things with the latest Resident Evil was a genius idea, so let's end it with a bang. Oh, never mind, but for real, though, great job, and I'll see you all before you know it. Tempest out. Thank you for the $5.
Thank you.
Tempest.
Let's go, Tempest. Now we're
Let's go.
Hagrid again.
Hey, he's back. My boy.
Guarding the Megamycete, huh?
So this fight just comes down to damaging his backside. As you can see, he has some ropes coming out of his back. So basically, Zeke wants to do straight all damage to his back just to kill him. Usually you'd have to wait for, you know, your eye in the sky to tell you, hey, you have your laser, you can use it, but
Got a tough guy here.
screw that. We don't have time for that. We're just gonna shoot him.
There's an
And he's
opening
dead.
in the roof. Use it.
For some reason, this Urius is a lot faster than the other one.
Like, way faster. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's because we have military grade weapons this time, not just some dinky sniper rifle.
True.
Keep going.
True.
Rest of you,
Yeah,
stay
the
above ground.
Chris's weapons are actually like crazy overpowered. Even on like higher difficulties, it's like insane how much damage they can do.
Yeah, it's insane the amount of damage you do. And that fight's a little interesting because you saw it through grenades while he was up top, and then I timed a fourth grenade. Basically, we were at the damage threshold where Urias was going to stagger it. We want to make sure Urias is on the ground when we do it, and we want to do it with a grenade so that we don't have to go behind him, because then we have to chase him around. It's actually a real pain. But doing that last grenade staggered him as soon as he landed, which means we just got to dump ammo into him while he was on the ground.
We
Yeah.
didn't expect Miranda to act
Easy
so
fight.
Even so,
True.
you should have told him.
Also love the amount of times Chris just loves to say Mega Mycete and bioweapons in this section.
True. Says it a lot.
Kind of insane how much.
And in that cutscene, we find Mia.
Hey, baby.
We don't care about her. Was really hoping she had died, but
Oh.
but it's okay. But now we're Ethan again. He's alive. There's a lot gets covered in these cutscenes we're skipping here. A lot gets covered. But in that room we were just in as Chris, you find out that Miranda has been around since the pre-creation of Umbrella. She was the mentor of Oswald Lee Spencer. She is basically connected to everything. So yeah, you learn a lot about that. But
Yeah.
we skip that in this video. We don't really care.
Yeah, this game kind of comes, like the lore of this game actually comes like full circle back down to like Resident Evil 1. It's kind of crazy how they tied that in.
Now our last Duke stop.
Our final and last time with Duke. Everybody say goodbye to Duke.
I can feel Lord Heisenberg.
Bye, Duke. We
Bye,
just need to
Duke.
upgrade the hell out of this rifle real quick.
Overpowered rifle, anyone?
Leave this to me.
Yeah, we basically, Zeke's just gonna be like upgrading everything as much as possible. Specifically certain things more than others, just because for Miranda we are going to need, you know, all the things that he did upgrade there. Miranda is very much a timing fight, so hopefully you can do this. All sniper rifle, let's go.
All sniper. Hog champ. Yeah, Miranda is, we have a strat that basically kills her without phasing her, using only the sniper rifle, which is just all, like, I'm not allowed to miss a shot, and I'm not allowed to be slow, basically, or else I'll end up hitting the phase, and it's going to be a longer fight, and I'll have to take the walk of shame.
Yeah, let's try not to say walk of shame here. No walk of shame, let's go!
You fulfilled your purpose.
Alright, so Zeke's gonna be doing all damage directly to her body, and if her wings get in the way and he shoots her wings, it actually nerfs the amount of damage that should be done.
I assure you I'll provide
Except for the last one there, so hopefully we can get her out of the dark phase, and done! And now we just gotta go for the last final amount of damage. Let's go! Easy.
Very fast fight on casual. Way different than what
Oh,
it is
yeah.
on other difficulties, but the difference is... Oh, pull the gun out. Okay. The difference is the timing on this fight is incredibly strict. Like, we lose a crazy amount of time if we mess anything up.
Very true, and time's gonna be coming up very shortly, and... Time! GG!
That's Resident Evil Village. New game, glitchless casual. And we're skipping these cutscenes or else we'll cry.
Yeah, no tears.
No tears, only dreams. IGT at 131.55. Not bad.
Nice! Let's go!
My live split time was 130.52, which is actually also not bad.
That's actually really good.
Yeah, it was a very fun run. It actually went very well for the most part. We didn't have any like massive issues or mistakes. The biggest thing I was worried about was Sturm, and Sturm went very well.
Yeah, that was an amazing run. Everybody is giving the GGs and the hypes and all that stuff.
Thank you,
Heck
everyone.
yeah.
Appreciate it. And honestly, thank you to UKSG for having me as well. And of course, thank you to Kat. Great friend, great commentator. Appreciate you stepping in to help again.
No worries.
Thought it was a good
Thank
time.
you for having me.
Yeah, these are fun. And it was I love running these games for marathons, and I ran for ESA before for 7, which is primarily what we run. refer to me, and I guess Kat as well. We're both primarily 7 runners.
Yeah, that's me too.
We do be running that game a lot, but again, thank you UKSG, thank you everyone who donated, and a shout out to the amazing cause. And it was super fun. And you can catch me at Captain Ezekiel for Twitter and Captain_Ezekiel for Twitch, as well as you can catch Catlink at Catlink for her stuff as well. And one more thing is you can also catch both of us running Resident Evil 7 New Game Easy as a race for SGDQ coming up in a little over a week now. It's really close, so that's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a banger, so if you're watching SGDQ, keep an eye out for us on Tuesday.
Heck yeah.
Cool, thank you guys. Yeah, it was an amazing run. Got, of course, Resident Evil Village, the newest Resident Evil game. What a way to get towards the closing ceremony, which we will get towards now. Have a little ad break, intermission, and we'll see you guys for the closing ceremony.
Sounds good. Later.